Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hayden Croy here with another one for you. First off, let me start off this video by saying you guys have absolutely been crushing it. Your support is unreal. We are almost at 2,000 subscribers. We've gained over 500 just this month alone, and it's all thanks to you guys enjoying these videos. So I really do appreciate it. If you like this video, make sure you smash that like button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite part is. Let me know if you have any questions or anything like that. But today, we're actually going to be talking about how is it to daily drive a big turbo GTI. So we've had this hybrid turbo in here for, I want to say, coming up on a whole month now, and we're on our third revision at the moment. We're running about 28 PSI, and we're just continuously working our way up on that. But we're going to be just talking about the whole experience and is it reasonable, feasible to be able to daily drive a GTI that's modified to this extent. So let's go on and get out on the road. Alright, so hopefully you guys can hear me better this week. I know that in my previous video, whenever we had some in-car driving, you guys could not really hear me very well. I did not have a mic plugged into my GoPro, so hopefully this microphone picks up my voice a little bit better than my car, but my car is loud, so that's just something you're going to have to keep in mind and bear with me on. So let's go over all the things that we've done to this car before we kind of dive into everything, just in case you're new around here. So we do have a full bolt-on GTI, and on top of that we are also running a high-pressure fuel pump from HPA, as well as a TPC-20 ball bearing, which is a hybrid IS-20, and it is using some Garrett internals with an IS-38 cold side and an IS-20 hot side. Very responsive little turbo and a very powerful turbo as well. For under the hood, we are running a Forged Motorsports cold air intake, and we have that mated up to straight to the turbo. So this turbo that I have does not utilize the standard inlet pipe that everyone knows for the Mark 7. It has its own that just bolts directly onto the turbo, and it is supplied with the turbo whenever you choose the performance cover housing. We are running a custom exhaust setup, and it is Catless downpipe. Hang on. Get that out of the way real fast. So our exhaust is 3-inch all the way. It is a Catless downpipe paired to a vibrant ultra quiet resonator, and then in the rear we're running 2 universal mufflers that are just like performance down mufflers that we ended up picking up off Amazon, just that way we could get something in time. And that is the current setup for the exhaust. Don't get me wrong, it is loud, but it also doesn't really drone very bad unless you're at certain speeds and certain RPMs, of course. Yo, where are you guys from? Where you guys live, is there just a ton of roundabouts everywhere? And there is roundabouts every intersection, it feels like, around here. Let me know about what it is like for you, where you're from. So as far as the daily drivability goes of this car, it is very daily drivable. Don't get me wrong, my car is loud. That's just my own choice. Not everyone's car is going to be nearly as loud as my car, but it's a very, very daily drivable car. It's still relatively smooth. It is not as smooth as a stock car, nor even a stage 2 car, but it is still pretty darn smooth. The only complaint that I have is that, well, there is a little bit more turbo lag, but that's expected whenever you're going bigger turbo. You have some trade-offs there, and I'm definitely more than happy to make that trade-off, and that is exactly why I did this. Right off the bat, things that I noticed, this turbo spools up about 1,000 RPM slower, or later I should say, than the IS-20 did. It still spools up relatively quickly, don't get me wrong. You're still, feels like darn near full boost right at 3,000 RPMs. But I personally don't drive around sitting at 3,000 RPMs. I'm normally cruising to like 1,800, 1,500 to 2,000 realistically. And whenever you're cruising at that, there's not a whole lot of meat in that power band. You got to downshift if you want to accelerate and stuff like that. But that's just good for your engine anyways. You don't really want to lug your engine. That's just something that's not healthy for a turbocharged car. So if you're looking to do this with your car and make a big turbo GTI or anything like that, if you're driving a DSG, obviously the DSG is very capable. You will need to tune it for the turbo to be able to hold that power and stuff like that. It's really expensive if you mess up your transmission and you're driving a DSG. A whole lot more than if you were to have to replace just a manual clutch. So that is one thing, and obviously everyone knows that if you have a manual GTI and you're looking to go big turbo, make sure that whatever clutch that you upgraded to for stage 2 is able to hold that power, and if it's not, you're probably going to want to look into getting another clutch. Now, as far as like stop and go traffic goes, this car does perfect. I mean, you don't need to be in boost at all whenever you're just in stop and go traffic. You're just kind of kicking it around, putting here and there, and just trying to get to where you're trying to go. So that is one thing. If you're just if you're thinking about, oh, I live in a busy area and I don't get time to open it up a whole lot, it's not something to worry about. Whenever you have the time to open it up, you can open it up, and whenever you need to just daily drive it, you can daily drive it. Now, like I said, not as smooth as a stock car or as a stage 2 GTI with the proper tuning software for the transmissions and stuff like that, but it is still a smooth car, and I have no issues with dailying this. We're gonna go explore a little bit in here. Also, if any of you guys are from North Carolina or even South Carolina, I have a Facebook group. It's called VW Golfs of NC. If you're close enough to the state line, go ahead and join it. We organize drives and stuff like that, as well as meetups for doing cars and coffee and all those things. We're gonna go test and see if we can get inside this little parking deck up here. Let me grab the main camera. We're looking to try and see if we can't find some new filming spots, you know what I mean? This car is so loud in here though, Jesus. Not allowed to go all the way up top apparently. It's no big deal. Well, it doesn't look so good. We got security rolling right around here. He's gonna be coming up this way any second, I'm sure. Just coming to talk to me and see what I'm doing. All right, so it looks like security is gonna leave us alone here for a little while. So let's just talk about, do I regret doing what I've done to this GTI so far and just taking it to the extent that I have with all these modifications? Absolutely not. This car has been more than fun, more than reliable the entire time that I've owned it, and I absolutely have no complaints, to be honest with you. It has just been an absolute blast, and I would recommend it to anybody. But all right, security's making his rounds again. Let's go and get out of here. We've talked about how it does just driving around town with this full bolt-on hybrid turbo, big turbo, whatever you want to call it, GTI. And now we're about to just kind of discuss how it is driving on the highway. And I'm going to tell you, this turbo is much more suited for the highway. Let me go in and get up here real fast. Turn off my traction control. So, let's talk about it. As you guys can tell, still kind of loud on the highway. It's not terrible. You can absolutely have a conversation while you're driving, and I mean, we're doing 80 right now, so, you know, not everyone's speed limits are even this high, so that is one thing. It is loud. That's just my exhaust setup. It won't be that case for everybody. It just depends on your taste and how you want your exhaust to be. But as far as actually just cruising on the highway, this turbo is great for it. It really stays in the power band a lot more often, especially around me. We got highway speeds, 70, 75, stuff like that. So you're cruising, and it puts you just over 2,000 RPMs whenever you're in 6th gear. So, I mean, if you had to somewhat accelerate whenever you're in 6th, you absolutely could, but it's still obviously recommended. Just downshift, get the power, you know, go ahead, lay on it a little bit, have some fun while you're passing people, and you have no problem. We got one of these little walls beside us. Let's roll down the window for you, see if you can hear this. So yeah, you guys get the point. About a month in, I'm still more than happy with this turbo, and especially the tuning. SneekyTuned, he has done a great job with my car throughout the entire time that I've been with him. I'm more than happy with his work. I just gotta, you know, keep on upping up the boost. We're just doing it little by little just to make sure that the car's staying healthy. And I can go in and show you right here if this will actually focus at all. I'm not sure if I can, but we are running almost no knock whatsoever. So that is a great thing. We are at 0.38 in cylinder 1 and 1.12 in the rest of the cylinders, which is really not bad at all. Like I said, this car, it does really good on the highway. I mean, it's just what it's meant to be. It's definitely a highway roller. It was what I would consider it. I imagine will still do really good whenever we go up in the mountains. I will be definitely judging that. but I imagine it'll do good just because we're staying pretty high up in the RPMs whenever we're up in the mountains doing our runs, and so I'll probably be in boost most of the time. So I don't imagine that being an issue at all. Let's get you guys a little pull right here. Shifted a little early. Let off for the curve. Alright, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We're trying to grow this channel as fast as we can, as big as we can, and we can't do that without your support. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next video.